premier race on the calendar in Hong Kong is the Hong Kong Derby.
It's the one race that, you know, even prior to the start of the season or the year, that owners, trainers and everybody is like thinking about.
Most of the 4-year-olds or horses that are going to turn 4 get bought specifically to try and win this race.
He has to perform at that particular race meeting on a day, so that's probably where the pressure comes from, because you don't get a second chance.
You can, you know, go out into Hong Kong and with a new owner, and 9 times out of 10 that owner would say to you, could you buy me a Derby horse?
This year marks the 140th edition of horse racing's Hong Kong Derby. With a prize purse of $2.3 million, it's the second richest derby in the world, behind the Japanese equivalent. Held at the Sha Tin racecourse, the 2,000-metre flat race is contested by 4-year-old thoroughbreds. The event is staged by the Hong Kong Jockey Club, which turns over some $187 million on Derby Day alone. Anthony Kelly is the Executive Director of Racing Business and Operations.
The Derby worldwide, first run at Epsom Downs in the UK. I mean, it was first run here, I think, in 1873. You can only win a Derby once because it's for horses of a certain age. And it just seems to mean everything to the people here. I mean, the restaurants in the clubhouses are called after the Derby. They spend an inordinate amount of money in order to buy a horse that can compete in the Derby, and only one will win it.
14 Hong Kong-based horses take to the gates in what is always an eagerly anticipated affair. Like the city itself, the Hong Kong Derby is fast-paced and compact, and often decided by the narrowest of margins. In last year's race, the John Moore-trained Werther pipped his stablemate Victory Magic in a nail-biting finish. It was the 5th time that John Moore had triumphed in the Derby, and he was eyeing victory again this year.
Just winning a race, there's a lot of satisfaction with that. But winning black-type races, you've got to have a second think and say, wow, that was really something. We've come out and won black type, all the hard work was put into it, now it's all paid off. All in all, I'm happy going into the Derby, and I reckon one of mine can do the job.
The 66-year-old trainer had 7 runners in this year's Derby, all of which are stabled at the Sha Tin racecourse. With the humid climate and limited space available here, Moore and the other Hong Kong trainers have come up with some innovative ways to exercise their horses. There's an all-weather track, a mechanical horse walk, and an equine pool. The horses get a varied workout, ensuring they're in perfect condition for race days.
We have about 0.7% of the world's horse races, but we have in the region of 23 horses in the world's top 100. So those numbers are disparate. They just don't reconcile together. So you can tell from there that if we are at the top table. If we're not the chairman, then we're pretty close to being the chairman.
There are over 1,000 horses stabled at the Sha Tin racecourse. John Moore's chestnut gelding Rapid Dragon headed into the Derby as the odds-on favourite, having beaten much of the field in both the Hong Kong Classic Mile and Classic Cup earlier in the season. The 4-year-old was set to be saddled by João Moreira, who leads the Hong Kong jockeys' standings with double the number of victories of his nearest rival. However, for all his wins in Hong Kong, the Brazilian is yet to taste success in the Derby.
It would mean a lot. It would be like a dream coming true. It's Derby everywhere in the world is special, but when you talk about Derby in Hong Kong, it would be even more special because, as I say, such a tough place, and it's just a pleasure to be involved in this game over here.
Nerves are always a factor at such a prestigious race, but one man who's shown the composure to win on Derby Day is Australian Sha Tin, who was hoping to emulate his success of 2 years ago with Beauty Generation this time out.
You can obviously hear the other horses around you, the thundering of the hooves, the breathing, jockeys sort of talking to each other in a way that they're sort of letting each other know where they are, so you're not getting knocked down and not getting any interference. But you know, you just got a job to do. And it doesn't matter if it's a derby or if it's just an average race. You've got to approach them all the same. You've got to go out and try and put your horse in the right spot, give it every chance to win.
The crowds poured into the 85,000 capacity Sha Tin racecourse, and after having a flutter on their favourite horse, they settled in for the big race. The favourite, Rapid Dragon, got away cleanly from gate 4 and hit the front early on. In such a high-quality 2,000-metre flat race, the horses are constantly vying for position. On the back straight, the second favourite, Pakistan Star, was bringing up the rear. The gelding became an internet sensation in 2016 when it won on its Hong Kong debut, despite having been last and some 7 lengths off the pace with just 300 metres to run. Coming into the final straight, Pakistan Star upped the pace, but João Moreira in the light blue silks surged back into the lead on Rapid Dragon. Sha Tin and Beauty Generation made their move on the outside, whilst Pakistan Star surged through the centre. But Rapid Dragon held on to give João Moreira his first ever Derby win. As a result, John Moore became the most successful trainer in Hong Kong Derby history with 6 victories in this illustrious race to his name.